Now this one I haven't heard of until very recently. You guys recommended this one and yeah, as soon as I saw it I was instantly hooked. Just like how hectic it was. Kinda reminded me of Alien Hominid, like those early days of Flash indie games. And with our whole 2D hack and slash theme going on, this game kind of fits the bill to the T, don't you think? So yeah, let's check it out. This is Combat Overview. Here we go over the general controls, the main mechanics, what we use them on, and then seeing how it all comes together. Guide lights, which have 3 routes. Holding forward with the left thumbstick or just leaving it neutral, sends them away with a kick. Holding down will end with a launcher, and holding up will pancake them. Kinda backwards, right? But you get used to it. Same goes for the air, send away, slam, and an extra launcher. You do have a double jump, but doesn't do some sort of jump cancels, but you can dash upwards to follow one. Have a heavy attack, which has no combo of its own, but a great crowd control option. In midair would do the slam attack. Oh yeah, we can even run up walls. Heavy attack will actually have you jump off and slam straight down, just like Ninja Gaiden. Now there isn't multiple chain combos, we just have 2. Light into heavy, similar to Ninja Gaiden, will launch. No ender after the second light attack. And after 3 lights into heavy, we'll do this crowd control right left sweep, both grounded and in the air. Now we found where Icy got it from. There's other weapons too, like cleavers, hammer, a giant pair of detachable scissors, and a water gun. As cool as those sound, I didn't use them. Whenever a game gives me a katana, I can't help but stick to it the entire time, so that's on me. Cool thing is though, it's similar to Bayonetta, having 2 swappable sets with their own different weapons. So you can flip between them whenever, giving you access to a lot of your options. We also have guns to go with that. Hold the right trigger to use your SMG or tap Y while doing that to use a shotgun. And I didn't use these much either. 2 reasons. 1, most of the time enemies will just block it, so hey, no DMC2 shenanigans going on, which is good. And 2, even if you do land a shot, shooting keeps you still a bit too long. And with how aggressive enemies are, yeah, it's just not worth it. You can do some Contra style swap cancels to shorten end lag, but even then I just didn't find a moment where it's worth using over our other options. But hey, who knows, you might find something I missed out on. Okay, not only that, but we have a grab too. You can use it to interrupt some enemy attacks and even get full iframes during it too. Doesn't crowd control sadly, but it'll automatically do the slam, and since they bounce, it leads into aerial combos. You can even cancel that slam to go straight into a combo just by attacking if you want to single out an enemy. Onto defenses, you have this dash by flicking your right thumbstick. Strange, I know, it's not on a face or shoulder button, but it works here. You don't need a controller camo, right? Since we're in a 2D game after all. Yeah, it doesn't take too long to get used to this sort of dodge. It worked for God of War with its pulled back fixed camera angles. So you should feel right at home with this if you played those games. But unlike classic God of War, you can't dodge on reaction, but your attacks are extremely fast, so it might as well be. Feels like it is, you know? So you're able to keep up with the action. And unlike Icy, your dash here has iframes, and even perfect dodge. Doesn't seem to give extra score or gain any resources back for doing that. It just slows time a bit. Kinda there just to sell the moment to make it look even cooler. But yeah, no follow-up attack out of it, nothing like that. And that's pretty much it. That's kinda it for defensive plays. No block, no parry. The game wants you to be on the move at all times, so you won't get overwhelmed. But you can't get away with just going anywhere. It'll help a lot to know who's out there, so you won't just run into enemy attacks. Looking at the HUD, red is health. Beneath that we have ammo. It's infinite, so no resource management here. Just reload the clip and you're off. But those skulls, they're for magic, which are similar to an Inpo in Ninja Gaiden. Thunder to chain from enemy to enemy, a narrow, a straightforward shot piercing through a crowd, one to launch every enemy in the room, and one to heal you. You have full iframes on activation, so it's great in a pinch or push your advantage. There's some shops usually at the start of missions. You can increase your max health, gain another skull, increase damage on weapons, and that's pretty much it. You don't get much new moves. Move list is pretty straightforward, and you start with everything you need at the beginning. It's up to you to use them the best you can. Another reason why I stuck with the katana. It's the all-rounder and lets me focus on just the one weapon to max out. Also, there's some different routes. Nothing too expansive. Some lead to keys or to these ambush encounters. Take them out to get a reward, just like Ninja Gaiden. Or you'll find these guitars lying around. Do a little rhythm game and you'll get some extra XP for it and an accessory. These accessories are beads. A lot of these are missable, but you can equip up to 4 of them, and each have their own passives like dealing extra damage to undead or robots. Grabs or guns are stronger, raise the chances of health or magic drops, and one ensure an end lag on weapon swapping, which kinda speeds up the game a good bit. When it comes to enemies, they're soldiers. They'll zipline pretty often. If they go fully off screen, they usually drop a bomb beneath them instantly. But if they don't, they'll shoot at a diagonal to mix you up. So they have you thread the needle to find that safe spot. They'll even rush you down at times too if you're too passive. There are some shooters, they'll fire their pistol, but they are not afraid of getting close with their own little combo. And if you still want to run, they'll mix in some dive kicks. Some with giant blades, they'll do this overhead swipe to keep you off of them in these close quarter fights. But if you're a bit further out, they'll do this leap to dive on top of you if you want to avoid them. There's drones that fly around. You can grab them to instant kill them. Easy targets, but don't ignore them for too long. They'll be a nuisance firing at you from afar with bullets or missiles that'll track you. So it's probably best to prioritize them and fast. Some blue-eyed ninjas who will teleport above you and slam straight down, leaving themselves open afterwards. Red-eye ninjas are more head-on with their up-close slash, or they will jump back before tossing out this fan of kunais. There's a lot more enemies, but just know each one has solid patterns to deal with. They usually have 2 or 3 moves too for a lot of situations, so they're very dynamic. It's pretty wild when they're combined in this arena, having you kind of mentally map out their ranges. Again, all while in constant motion. Compare that to Icy, where enemies were largely passive and let you juggle them for free. Now it's pretty fun to maneuver through the madness, but mess up once and you feel it. I got hit 3 times and I lost my entire health bar, so it's probably a good idea to get familiar with enemy types and fast. But there's some nice functions to ease up on that razor sharp gameplay a bit. Enemies actually hurt each other, so if they're spamming projectiles, hey, at least everyone's going to be torn up. Also, once you damage them enough, this prompt will appear. You can either use a light attack or a grab to instantly finish them off. These glory kills can also lead into collateral damage, but you need to be quick. And that's because they'll finish the job for themselves if you don't. Pretty intense stuff. Honestly, think of it as Ninja Gaiden's obliteration technique. Instant kill weakened enemies while you get full iframes during it. They also drop health and magic refills. I'm not too sure how this works, it seems like it's by chance. Definitely let me know if I'm missing something, but couldn't find a consistent setup. Wait, almost forgot. There's one more option. After dying a few times, you unlock Pretty Princess difficulty. Something to help out those in need. It's another callback to classic action games. Gotta love it. Alright, when it comes to boss fights, yeah, the Ninja Gaiden comparison continues here too. Fighting enemies are great, but boss fights dip a bit in quality. This spider-like thing will slam in front of itself or charge forward, so dodge through. This Ed 209 look-alike from RoboCop will either stomp forward or shoot missiles. Just dodge behind it. The Skelly Tank, it'll fire before charging from corner to corner. Yep, dodge behind it. This Bladed Butterfly swoops or dives. Just dodge whenever you see it move and attack them when they stab the ground. Even the final boss is solved by just dodging past the swipes. Very simple patterns that don't ask much of you, and I think they knew that because there's a few boss fights where they either drop in a bunch of smaller enemies or drop in past bosses while you fight this new one. It's pretty meh, but hey, combat for the other 90% of the game is pretty great. And that's the Dishwasher Vampire Smile. It's not 2D DMC, it's 2D Ninja Gaiden. It's the familiar story where it gets compared to DMC almost instantly, but not nowhere close to it. Again, it's more like Ninja Gaiden than any other action game out there. Focuses more on being efficient, knowing who's out to get you, and constantly stay on the move. Plus there's an Azuna drop, light into heavy launches, OTs which gives iframes, and a bit more stuff. But it still draws inspiration from other major action games. Have the swappable weapon sets like Bayonetta, you dodge with the right thumbstick like God of War, and they toss in guns too like DMC. But it doesn't really work to extend juggles for me most times. Again, if you want a game that does that better, check out Super Crush KO. But yeah, other than great gameplay, you got a few modes to pack that up. There's a whole second character with her own weapons and story, arcade and survival mode, a practice room, Wish you had more control here, like being able to pick specific enemies, but it's solid enough. Can even co-op too, and all your upgrades carry over so you can climb that difficulty ladder in NG+. Yeah, it's just a fully stacked game all around. No surprise, but check this one out. Very fast paced, has responsive controls to keep up, and this raw art style to match that visceral gameplay. Bosses are pretty so-so, but enemies are very fun to fight. Now, I'll let you know, I say try this out sooner rather than later, because Vampire Smell and the first game, Dead Samurai, are going to get delisted soon because of the whole Xbox marketplace closing down. Vampire Smile is on Steam, luckily, but Dead Samurai is only on the 360. It's a digital exclusive game and you can't get it anywhere else, not even on PSN. You can't even find it on modern Xbox consoles when looking it up. It just won't show. It's only available on the 360. So it's going to be tricky for most of us to experience these games, but if you can, definitely dust off your 360 if you have one to get your copy before it's too late, because this little series is definitely worth the play.